The inferiority complex affects many aspects of our lives. But what is it really? How does it shape our behavior? And how can we overcome it? Today, we will dive into one of the most important concepts of Alfred Adler's individual psychology, the inferiority complex. We'll explore how it manifests in behavior, how it shapes our lives, and what we can do to overcome it. We're planning a series of videos on Alfred Adler's psychology. If you're interested in self-development and social psychology, subscribe to our channel, like the video, and leave comments. Your support will help us create more valuable content about psychology and philosophy. Defining the inferiority complex. Adler defined the inferiority complex as the feeling that we're not good enough, that we can't reach our goals, or that others are always better than us. This feeling begins in childhood, but can follow us through life, impacting our decisions and our self-worth. This complex can be a major barrier to success because we often don't realize how deeply it's rooted in our subconscious. As Adler said, the striving for superiority is a natural outcome of the inferiority complex. It is this feeling that drives us to become better, stronger, more successful. However, the inferiority complex often drives us not to be better for ourselves, but to be better in comparison to others. This leads to a constant pursuit of success, but without true satisfaction. How the inferiority complex manifests in behavior. The inferiority complex can manifest in many different ways. Some people become overly self-critical, compare themselves to others, or live in constant fear of failure. This can lead to social isolation, a fear of taking risks, or a constant need to prove one's worth. Often people with an inferiority complex can become either aggressive or overly submissive in their relationships. This happens because we seek external validation for our value. For example, someone with an inferiority complex might work excessive hours to gain recognition, but even after receiving it, still feel insecure. Adler believed that our sense of inferiority becomes a driving force for growth. It motivates us to become better, but when unchecked, it can turn into an internal struggle. Psychologists point out other signs, like jealousy, fear of change, and constant self-comparison, as common symptoms of an inferiority complex. It's important to recognize these signals and address them. Childhood's role in forming the complex. The inferiority complex often starts in childhood, when children compare themselves to others, siblings, or experience pressure from parents. A child who constantly hears criticism or comparisons begins to see themselves as less than. This experience carries into adulthood, forming the foundation of the inferiority complex. Adler believed that feelings of inferiority in children are natural, as they are physically weaker and less capable than adults. However, if this feeling isn't balanced by encouragement and support, it can turn into a lifelong complex. Research shows that children who felt suppressed or constantly compared themselves to others are more likely to have low self-esteem and an inferiority complex as adults. This is why creating a supportive, positive environment for children is crucial. Overcoming the inferiority complex with Adler's methods. Adler proposed a simple but effective strategy for overcoming the inferiority complex. The key is to change your attitude towards yourself and learn to focus on your own achievements, rather than comparing yourself to others. The first step is to recognize that your feelings of inferiority are not facts, but perceptions. Instead of constantly comparing yourself to others, start measuring your own progress. Adler's psychological technique involves creating a new mental picture of your success. For instance, writing daily positive reflections on yourself. What did I do well today? What have I improved? This helps rewire your brain. Another step is seeking social contact. Adler believed that social support is crucial for overcoming the inferiority complex. Surround yourself with people who help you grow. Ultimately, the inferiority complex can only be overcome through action. Don't wait until you're perfect. Start now. Every small success is a step towards confidence. It's also important to pay attention to the language you use to describe yourself. Rewrite your inner dialogue. Instead of saying, "I can't do this," start with, "I'm learning to do this better." A positive mindset plays a huge role in overcoming the inferiority complex. The role of social context. The inferiority complex is closely linked to social interactions. Our surroundings influence how we perceive ourselves. For instance, being around people who constantly criticize or compare you amplifies the complex. Adler advised paying attention to your social environment and choosing people who support and motivate you. Success comes when we understand our worth and resist negative influences. This is especially true in the business environment. Finding people who support your vision strengthens your self-confidence. Real-life applications: how the inferiority complex shapes our daily life. Understanding the inferiority complex is one thing, but recognizing its influence in our everyday lives is essential for true self-awareness. We might see it manifest in subtle ways, like hesitating to speak up in a meeting or feeling anxious before trying something new. Consider this example. A person with an inferiority complex might not apply for a promotion, believing they're not good enough, despite having the necessary skills. These small moments of doubt accumulate over time, shaping the trajectory of our lives. Adler emphasized that when we don't address these feelings, they turn into a vicious cycle. Each time we doubt ourselves, we reinforce the belief that we're not capable. Breaking this cycle requires awareness and conscious effort. Rewriting your narrative, turning inferiority into growth. One of Adler's most powerful teachings is the idea that we can transform our sense of inferiority into motivation for growth. Instead of seeing weaknesses as barriers, we can see them as opportunities for improvement. Imagine a student who struggles with public speaking. Instead of avoiding presentations, they can use that challenge as a chance to improve. By facing the fear, rather than running from it, they turn what once felt like an insurmountable weakness into a strength. Adler believed that we must take control of our personal narrative. Instead of focusing on where we fall short, we must ask ourselves, how can I turn this challenge into a stepping stone for personal growth? The next time you face a situation that triggers feelings of inferiority, take a moment to reflect. How can this challenge help me grow? This mindset shift is at the heart of overcoming the inferiority complex. The impact of social comparison on mental health. In today's society, the inferiority complex is often exacerbated by constant social comparison. Social media platforms, for example, offer an endless stream of people's achievements, perfect moments, and successes. Adler warned against the dangers of constantly comparing yourself to others. When we measure our worth based on someone else's success, we rob ourselves of the chance to appreciate our own journey. Studies have shown that excessive social comparison leads to increased anxiety, depression, and lower self-esteem. The more we focus on others, the more disconnected we become from our own values and goals. To counteract this, Adler suggested focusing on personal growth and inner fulfillment. Ask yourself, what do I want to achieve for myself, regardless of what others are doing? By aligning your actions with your own values, rather than external validation, you begin to free yourself from the inferiority complex. Steps to build lasting self-confidence. Overcoming the inferiority complex is not an overnight process. It requires consistent effort and self-reflection. But the good news is, with the right approach, you can build lasting self-confidence. The first step is to challenge your negative self-beliefs. Start by identifying situations where you feel inadequate. Write down those feelings and actively question them. Is this belief grounded in reality, or is it a distorted perception? Next, focus on your strengths. Every day, write down at least one thing you did well. This simple practice shifts your focus from what you lack to what you already possess. Additionally, embrace challenges. As Adler taught, the only way to grow is to step outside your comfort zone. Set small, achievable goals and gradually build your confidence by accomplishing them. Finally, seek support. Surround yourself with people who encourage your growth rather than reinforce your insecurities. Building a positive social network is essential for overcoming the inferiority complex. With time, persistence, and self-compassion, you'll start to see the transformation. What once felt like a constant source of inadequacy can become the foundation for a stronger, more confident self. The inferiority complex is a challenge that many of us face, but it can be overcome by understanding its nature and applying Adler's methods. If you feel like inferiority constantly holds you back, remember, it's only an internal barrier. You can achieve more if you start acting now. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're interested in psychology and self-development. We will continue our series on Alfred Adler's ideas, so make sure to like the video and share your thoughts in the comments. As Adler said, a person can change only when they understand why they need to change. Continue discovering yourself with us.